Hey, Solus, have you seen my cannon at all? Ah! Hey, Primer, have you seen Solus? Brother, please, save me from your crazy wife. What do you mean by that?
Babe, please move out of the way so I can shoot Primer.
By Primus, that's hot.
Oh, thank you, babe. Now please move.
Megatronus, please help me. Nope, you're on your own, brother.
Oh, scrap.
Oh, scrap. On to the review.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Firestorm Reviews. And today we're going to be having a look at probably the second Prime that is probably the most well-known in the franchise besides Optimus Prime. Megatronus, aka The Fallen. And in some universes, the first ever Decepticon. So yeah, let's have a look at the box first, and then we'll have a look at the figure. Okay, the Megatronus box here is massive. Definitely worthy of the leader price point for this guy. Here on the bottom we have Transformers, Age of the Prime, the 13th, Megatronus, The Fallen. That's his Prime logo. Here we have him in his flaming tank from hell. And here we have him in his robot form from the Dreamwave design. Here we have the top of the box with Takara Tomy here. On the side, we have a look at Optimus Prime, or I'm just going to call this one the 13, which will probably be the only Prime I don't get, because I have a rule that I only buy certain commander classes being combiners. And Liege Maximus, which I still say looks terrible. And Megatronus, Age of Prime, leader class down here. On the back we have boring tech stuff down here. Transformers, more than meets the eye. Tank mode without the fire. He has 38 steps. Cool robot mode on fire. Cool image of him wielding the Requiem Blaster. Another thing saying Megatronus and the Fallen. A cool image of the Requiem Blaster. On the side, another cool render of his robot mode, burning with the flames of hell. And Age of the Primes and Megatronus. So yeah, that's the box. Onto the figure. Okay, this figure is amazing looking. The dark purple, the hints of yellow, the flame effects he comes with. All him being just geared out in the most weapons of any of the Primes. He also comes with the most accessories, being, I believe, at least 9 of them. So yeah, let's have a first look at the figure without all his accessories. Here he is without all his accessories, and yet he still looks like he can beat the scrap out of someone. Yeah. Let's have a close look up at the details here. His massive stomping feet look like they are made out of claws. The bright yellow, the cool rivets. The hint of the fire burning within him. And he has a decent backpack. Definitely one of the best. Especially for a tank former in some cases. And the spikes here on the side and the rotation of them for transformation. But I'll maybe focus on that. The head looks like it's a furnace ready to open. Now, let's put on his main 3 accessories that you'll probably display him with the most, besides his fire, being the Requiem Blaster here, which is incredible. It has his Prime badge on it, and looks perfect. And definitely keep this thing away from Solus Prime if you don't want him to accidentally kill her. Here we have the barrel of his tank mode, which just goes here. Which definitely gives me Megatron vibes a little bit, knowing that he also uses Megatronus as his namesakes. And a small rocket launcher up on his shoulder here. So yeah, even with these accessories here, he looks incredible. Especially the Requiem Blaster is my favorite accessory of the Prime so far. And yeah, and then his other main accessory that I just stabbed myself with is his Prime Blade, which definitely gives me vibes of the one he used in Transformers 1. And you can split it apart to become a machete and a small blade. And this part here is made of rubbery plastic with paint that's easily come off, because some of mine has already started to chip off on the bottom part of the blade here, and it comes off quite easily. So yeah, so you can just slip these in his hands, which can open. For this one you have to open his hand, and then boom, he can dual wield his sword and mace axe thingy. But come on, we're all probably going to store rid of him in the combined mode, right? He looks like he's ready to march the war. And now, of course, his other accessories being his, do we call these blast effects, fire effects, or what? Whatever they are, they're awesome and they go great on him. You can make him look like he's just stepped freshly through a fireball and is ready to burst through. You attach the big ones on his shoulder with the ports there, and the smaller ones on 2 ports on the back of his treads here. And yeah, this looks amazing. I kind of wish he had light piping in the back of his head so you could shine a light through his head and make it look like his whole head is in flame. But besides that, it's awesome. Yeah. Let's have a quick look at his posability. But first, let's just get him de-armed from his fire and weapons real quick. But keep the cannon. Alright, his posability is amazing. Definitely what most figures should try to push forward if they're a leader price point. He has a ball joint on the head that can spin 360, can look up that far and down that far, a little bit of rotation to the head, to the right hand side. His arms can rotate full 360, can go out that far, and the shoulder missiles on this arm here can bend out. He has butterfly joints from his transformation, which you just move out on these hinges. Yeah, so you can have them go backwards and forwards to get him in a lot of poses, which I'll show you later. He has rotation at the bicep, bend at the elbow, ball jointed hand like Primer and Solus Prime. His hand can open up like Primer's, which I gotta say his hands work better for the opening up, unlike Primer's, especially since his blades actually are long enough to fit in them. He has a waist rotation. His mini side skirts can move up, which I'm pretty sure these are meant to be side skirts, meant to be like hip missile launchers. His legs can kick out that far and back that far. He has a beautiful spread. Oh yeah, my one has a bit of a problem where this part keeps popping off the most too. Bend at the knee. And he has a really nice ankle pivot. So yeah, that's his posability and accessories. Now, let's move on to his size comparison with other figures. Here he is with my 13 Primes and Sentinel. Here he is with my main Megatrons and Optimus Primes in my collection.
Keep the Megatrons away from me, please. They're all going insane.
And here he is with Team Firestorm. And here he is with V. Now, let's have a look at some of the poses you can put him in. Like I said earlier, you can get him in a lot of poses. I have a question for you guys. Would you consider this a superhero landing or a supervillain landing for the Fallen / Megatronus? And here's my last pose before moving on to posability. Him getting stepped on by his wife, who we can all clearly tell was probably the top in their relationship. Alright, let's move on to his transformation. For his transformation, you're going to want to take all his accessories, that includes the cannon and the top of the barrel here, off. You can leave the rocket launcher on for the transformation. And before we get on to that, we'll quickly transform the Requiem cannon because that's a part of the transformation. Oops, and drop that as well. First, you're going to want to fold this part up, the little tab up here. Then you plug it into the cannon. Come down here, struggle to fold out this part here. Then you take the cannon, untab it, and hinge it forward. And boom, you have it transformed. Alright, now we just put that off to the side here and come back to the big man himself. First, you're going to want to take his hands and untab them like so, like this. Fold his hands inward, make sure they're closed. And then you close them up to hear a nice click. Then you rotate his arms around. There, and then you rotate his head around, untab his chest plate and lift it up. Then fold down his arms, come back to his chest plate here, fold it up like this, then rotate it, pull his neck piece forward, lift this up like so, and then you want to focus on the top treads here. You lift them up, untab them from the back here, then you come to the caps of the treads, untab them, lift them up and rotate them like this. And then you bring them in like that, and then you fold up this part here and lift. It will cause those to come undone. Then you just want to try to angle this correctly until they tab in like that. The tab is quite loose. They're meant to just basically just rest there. And just to get that out of the way for now, we'll lift it up like that. Spin his legs 360 degrees. Then you fold up his side skirts. Then you rotate his legs around like this. That part will fall back down on you occasionally. Then you want to untab them from there like this. And then connect them like so. Then you take untab it a little before you move it the rest of the way. You want to see these tabs here, these bits here, you lift them up on both sides. Then you finish pulling the purple bit of his butt down. You can then close those down like so. Be careful, because if you push it down too far, you might cause that to unclip, and that may in the future cause the figure to break. Not 100% sure though. And then you lift the bit of his feet forward a bit. And then you untab the treads here. Fold his feet in like so. Rotate them back down the treads. If you then see it the first time, I'll just redo it there. And then you come back to this part of the body. You will see these tabs here, these slots here, and then tabs up top there. You just take the torso down and tab it in. Bring his arms around. Before you fully press them in, you bring back the cannon and tab it into these slots there. And then boom, you have the cannon ready, and then you bring the shoulder cannons up, and then his missile launcher on his shoulder sideways. And there, you have him in his tank mode. But you can also take the fire pieces here for his shoulders, tab them into these slots here, connect them like that, and then boom, you have a flaming tank from hell. The other two pieces don't have a slot on it because they're meant to connect to his sword. And then attached here on the tank. But I don't really like that, so I often untab them from there and either put them on the ports here or back here. And there, you have a more flaming tank from hell. So yeah, let's move on to my discussion of the tank mode. So, Megatronus' tank mode. very nicely done. Better than most tank bots I've seen. When I first saw this guy's images, I was like, oh no, he's gonna just be an upside version of Siege Megatron. But no, I'm happy to be wrong about the tank mode. It's incredible. You can clearly still see robot arms, feet sticking out and all that, but every Cybertronian tank mode has like that issue, and plus, they're space vehicles. They're not meant to be disguising themselves from humans, so yeah. And the still compatibility with the flames is amazing. And even without them, he looks awesome. He also has some posability, being the tank turret moving around, his little shoulder cannons rotating, and a bit of lift in the cannon. So yeah, and also the spikes on the side makes it look like he just goes up to somebody and cuts their legs. Alright, now let's do a size comparison with him and my figures. And then we'll move on to my final thoughts. Here he is with the 13 Primes and Sentinel. And here he is with my Megatrons and Optimus Primes. That are the main ones in my collection. And here he is next to Team Firestorm. And lastly, here he is next to V. Now on to my final thoughts. So, my final thoughts on Megatronus. He's an amazing figure. Definitely deserving of the price that you can get him at. The articulation is incredible. Skeleton, weapons, and all that are amazing. Still, my only complaint is that part here. That's my only complaint about him. I just wish it was hard plastic and not separate. Besides that, he's incredible. The fire effects and all that. He goes great with any of your Decepticons, Autobots, Primes, Heralds of Unicron, whatever. He's a great figure, definitely deserving of a purchase or pickup if you can still find him. Probably the only Prime that I will say that might beat him in being amazing might be Onyx Prime's figure, from what I've seen of it so far. But I'll have to wait till I get my hands on him. And besides that, I hope you all enjoy this video, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye. Alright, Axel Grease, now that video is over, we should probably get back to our mission trying to track down Widowmaker. Yeah, boss, I think we should. Ah! Boss! Ah! How pathetic, Firestorm. G-Axis. This channel is mine now.